Hi, I'm Samantha Reigle, an intuitive and longtime mediator with over 2 decades of experience helping people navigate conflict and inner chaos. Whether it's showing up in your relationships or in the world around you, I'll show you how any kind of duress you're feeling isn't random. It's actually revealing. It's pointing to the beliefs and patterns that are no longer working. This podcast helps you stop reacting on autopilot and start responding with intention. Okay, today I want to start off by talking about something I've been thinking about recently, and maybe it lands for you, and that is that I really believe the whole reason we come to Earth as souls, because yes, I do think we're all souls, fractals of Source, God, the universe, whatever name feels right for you, is to actually have a human experience. And a big part of that experience is learning how to work with energy, because at the end of the day, that's all that we really are, right? We're energetic beings in a solid state. But for today's conversations, I want to explore a different facet of that energy. I don't mean anything out there overly mystical. I mean like your thoughts, your beliefs, the stories you tell yourself on repeat, because that's the energy you're living in. And whether you realize it or not, it's shaping everything. Your relationships, your career, your health, your bank account, your sense of possibility even. We've all played with this in both ways. Okay, so let's take a minute and think about a time when things might have just clicked for you. You felt clear, open, maybe even excited, and you followed that nudge, and suddenly opportunities were lining up and the right people showed up and support just appeared because your energy was in alignment with the things that were happening. And then there's the other times when you're anxious, you're doubting yourself, you're bracing for something to go wrong. And sure enough, it does. The email gets lost. The flight is delayed. Your kids get sick the day of a big work thing going on. And that's what I call misaligned energy. And that's your inner world getting mirrored back to you. So when something feels off, whether it's external conflict or just that nagging sense of, oh, this doesn't feel good, that's not random. That's a message. And that's your system saying, hey, something in here isn't lining up with what you actually want out there. Internally is not lining up with what you want to see externally. And that's where this podcast comes in. My whole aim is to help you get curious about those areas of discomfort, not to hide them away or shame them, and not to slap affirmations on them, but to really look at what beliefs or thought patterns might be running the show behind the scenes. Because when you bring awareness to that, you start to shift the energy. And when the energy shifts, the experience will change on the outside. Your reality will shift. So this is true in our personal lives, and it's true in the world. So look around right now in the world. We have war in Israel and Gaza. We have mass starvation in Gaza, which is man-made, by the way. War in Ukraine. We had wildfires in LA at the beginning of the year. We had floods in Texas that took the lives of so many children. It's so heartbreaking and it's overwhelming. And it's easy to look at all of this and more and think, what is the point? Or how could this ever get better? And that too is a belief. That's a worldview that is shaped by the belief that you have, that you're powerless. And that's not the whole truth. Because also at that very same time, there's people that are running into burning buildings to rescue strangers. People are linking arms to pull survivors from floodwaters. People refusing to accept that war is just how it is. People are showing up, speaking up, rebuilding, restoring. saying no more and then meaning it. That collective energy in motion, that's what happens when beliefs shift. So if you're someone who sees the mess and feels it all, you're not crazy, you're awake, and the good news is you're not powerless, but you do need a game plan. So here is how to shift from conflict to conscious creation, because we change the world by changing how we relate to it. And that starts with how we relate to ourselves, our beliefs, our reactions, our energy, and our responses. So I want to begin with 5 different points about how we can do this. And the first point is clean up your corner. When you feel yourself spiraling, whether you're mid-argument with your partner, you just snapped at your kid, or your body is reacting to something you saw in the news, I'm going to ask you to pause and ask yourself, what belief am I energizing right now? Is it powerlessness? Is it the belief that I have to be perfect? Whatever it is in that moment, ask, what belief am I energizing? Is this helping me move forward, or am I just repeating something old and familiar? Because most of our beliefs we live from didn't start with us. They were passed down through tone of voice, through unspoken rules, through trauma, through silence, through the news telling you to believe this to be true. Maybe you learned that being good meant staying quiet, or that conflict equals danger, or that people will leave if you're too much. So now when you feel disrespected or dismissed, the reaction might come from that younger self, not your grounded adult self. So cleaning up your own corner means noticing these patterns, not judging them, but getting honest about the energy you're carrying into your relationships and how you respond to that. Because if we don't clean up what's ours, we project it onto everyone else. And when we do start clearing it, we're going to interrupt those cycles. We stop the echo of pain that was never ours to carry in the first place. So the second tip that I have is to see the whole picture. In our families and in the world, it's easy to lock onto one narrative. They're the villain, I'm the victim. Everything's falling apart. But when we narrow our lens to only pain, we lose access to the bigger truth. We forget that both can exist. Grief and grace, destruction and rebuilding, dysfunction and love, your parents' trauma and the way they tried, even if they fell short. Okay? Holding the whole picture doesn't mean you excuse harm. It means you stop living in the extremes. In the world, it looks like seeing the war and the helpers and the people trying to fight against war. Seeing the flood and those that may have passed from it, and the neighbor who carried someone's child out of the water. The pain and the people rising up to say, no more. In your home, it means holding your child's meltdown without deciding you're a bad parent. And I can speak from experience on this. It's very hard when you're seeing your child having a difficult time and not blaming yourself. Also in your home, it could be loving your family while also breaking patterns that harm you. The more you can hold complexity, the more grounded your energy becomes. And a grounded nervous system is one of the most revolutionary things you can offer this world. Okay, my third tip, create before you consume. And what that means is most of us wake up immediately and go into reaction mode. Emails, texts, news, opinions, chaos. But the world doesn't get to decide who you are. You do. So before you let in everyone else's energy and grab for that phone, anchor it into your own. Because yes, When you immediately reach for that phone, when you're inviting, then you are actually inviting that energy in. So instead, try saying a thought out loud, your own thought, maybe an intention for your day. Maybe take a walk first. Breathe on purpose, touch the ground, stretch, pray, sit with your coffee in silence, anything that you can do to avoid letting in someone else's energy. So, do one thing you choose with presence. And this isn't about productivity. It's just about maintaining your sovereignty and maintaining your energetic being. You get to set the tone. So create before you consume and watch how much more powerful, peaceful, and intentional your presence becomes. Okay, the fourth tip I have for you is use your triggers as your teacher. So your triggers are not random. They're invitations. They show you what's still tender, what's still unresolved, and what belief you're still living by. Usually without even realizing it. It's an unhealthy belief that you're carrying. So when your child ignores you and your chest tightens, when your partner pulls away and you spiral into fear, when a news headline wrecks you for the rest of the day, ask, what belief is this touching? What old story is getting activated right now? Is it, I'm not safe unless I'm in control? I have to be perfect to be loved? The world is dangerous and always will be? This is the material. These are the access points. And if you're willing to get curious instead of reactive, you can shift the energy underneath. Because once you update the belief, the trigger will lose its grip and you become someone who responds instead of reenacts. Okay? The fifth and final tip I have for you is to be the pattern breaker. And being the pattern breaker is sacred. And sometimes it's lonely. It means choosing not to yell when that's how you grew up, hearing parents yelling at each other as a form of communication. It means apologizing to your kids when no one ever apologized to you as a kid. It could mean learning to stay present in conflict when your body just wants to shut down or blow up. It's catching yourself in the middle of an old reaction and saying, nope, not this time. That's how cycles get interrupted. And those moments, tiny as they may seem, are how healing becomes reality. So whether you're at the dinner table, in a meeting, or on the phone with someone who always knows how to push your buttons, just choose to pause, breathe, shift that energy, be the one who shows up differently, even if no one else does it yet, because someone has to model a new way forward, and it can be you. So why does all this matter? Like I've been saying, energy is contagious, whether you're parenting, partnering, posting online, or just standing in a Target line. Your presence impacts the field around you. You don't need to fix the world. You just need to be responsible for your energy in it. And this episode isn't about bypassing conflict. It's about using it as a portal to truth, to healing, to real growth. Because the world doesn't need more perfection or performance. It needs people who are awake, aligned, and willing to shift their energy to a healthier way of being. And if you're here listening to this, you're probably already on that path. Okay, I am going to get into answering some questions now. I'm going to focus on how I can use both my experience in resolving conflict and my intuition to help you spot the deeper beliefs that might be creating the situation you're in. Because often the conflict isn't just about what's happening on the surface, it's about that unconscious belief running the show behind the scenes. And once we can shine a light on that, real change becomes possible. If you would like to send me your own question, feel free to use the voicemail link in my show notes. You can leave a 3-minute voicemail with an overview of your situation, and I will feature it in an upcoming podcast. You're also more than welcome to remain anonymous, but it helps if I have a name, even if it's a made-up name. Okay, here we go. First question. I keep getting rejected. Recently, I was ghosted and I'm taking it hard. I've been ghosted before, but this time it hurts more. This is probably the 10th time in the past year that a man I have liked has ghosted me or rejected me in some other way. I don't mean to brag, but I believe I have a good personality. So maybe it's my appearance that's the problem. The fact that this is recurring makes me unhappy. I believe there is no way I will ever meet a guy who is attracted to me, and I hate that I reached this mindset. I want to stop romanticizing romantic love and concentrate on loving myself. Any advice is welcome. Oh, my heart breaks for her. I remember what it felt like to be out there navigating the dating scene, and it can be brutal. In response to her question, I would say, first of all, your feelings, they're valid. You're not ridiculous. You're human. Most of us who've been dating in the past decade or whatever have experienced this. And you know what? You're wired to want connection. But this thing that you're feeling, it's not just about this particular guy. It's a deeper belief that's been quietly following you around probably, and it's time that you might want to bring it to light. So right now, what I believe, the belief running the show for you, it's probably along the lines of this, and you would know better. There's something wrong with me, and that's why I keep getting rejected. In fact, I know that's probably what you believe because you said it when you asked the question. You believe your physical appearance might be the cause. It's hurtful, and I know it feels true to you because it keeps happening, and that is the reason you deduced it to justify it. But here's the twist. This belief isn't just causing you pain after the rejection. It's actually shaping how you show up before it even happens. So when you believe that you're not enough, whether it's about your looks, your worth, whatever, you start behaving in ways that chase approval instead of connection. So you might attach too fast. You might overlook the fact that they're barely trying. You might stay longer in conversations where the energy is clearly one-sided because you're hoping this time will be different. And then when it ends, it feels like another rejection to prove your original fear. See, I'm the problem. And that's a vicious loop. But here is where I want to pause and clearly state. Rejection isn't always about your worth. A lot of the times, it's about misalignment, timing, emotional immaturity on their part, and ghosting. That's not a reflection of your value. It's a reflection of their inability to handle adult conversations. So here's the belief I want you to start practicing, even if it feels hard right now. Maybe you could say to yourself, my worth isn't determined by who chooses me. I attract the right people when I choose myself first. That needs to be a life practice. It means you start focusing less on being chosen and more on whether you even want them. It means slowing down enough to ask, is this person showing up for me the way I deserve? It means not chasing down breadcrumbs or trying to decode mixed signals, because that's not love. That's emotional gambling. And yes, it'll take time. You'll catch yourself slipping back into the old loops sometimes. And that's okay. Just keep coming back to this question. Am I trying to earn love, or am I letting it naturally flow from people who are capable of giving it? You're not unattractive. You're just learning a new way of loving yourself. And the right people will meet you there. You will usher in what you focus on. I hope this helps. Next question. Here we go. It's pretty obvious that my coworkers don't like me. It seems like every time I enter the department, I become the elephant in the room. They have a group chat that I'm not in. They go out to dinner, to the movies. They have bonfires. And I'm not invited to any of them. It seems like the new people are always recruited into this, but I'm not. I try being friendly with new hires, but they always get sucked into the group somehow. I'm very quiet and reserved, but can be silly and fun around the right people. I go and do my job. I never call out. I'm respectful to my higher ups. I go out of my way to help others when they ask. I'm just not sure what I'm doing wrong. I know we don't go to work to make friends, but I guess all I want is acceptance. Am I overthinking things? Are they just a dumb click and I'm not missing out on anything special? The icing on the cake was finding out they did a whole secret Santa and neglected to tell me about it, but proceeded to talk about it in front of me, about who got who and what they got for each other. What am I supposed to do? Okay, first of all, I just want to tell you, you're not crazy. You're not overthinking this. You're feeling probably exactly what's happening. And this isn't just about being left out of a group chat or a movie night. It's about acceptance, just like the other question we just had. You're trying to belong, especially in a place where you show up every day, work hard, and honestly try to be a good person. And I hear you. It feels like you're stuck in this loop of, what am I doing wrong? Why don't they like me? I'm respectful. I help them. I do my job. I'm friendly when I can be. But here's where I'm going to gently challenge you, because there's a belief that you probably have, and it's keeping you stuck in this pain of rejection. And I would like to offer that maybe it's a belief similar to, if I'm good enough, if I just work hard enough and be kind enough, they'll finally accept me. And again, it's a rejection belief, and you're trying to get over the feelings of rejection. So you want to mold yourself into what you think others want you to be. But here's what I think might set you free, even if it stings a little bit at first. You can't earn your way into a clique that's built on exclusion. You can't nice your way into spaces where people are addicted to gossip or groupthink. You might not be aligning with them and how they're choosing to show up, because energy attracts light energy, and their choices, they're not actually about you. They're about them, their own insecurities, their need to bond over excluding others, their fear of anyone who might be different. And you're not the problem here, but you are the one with the power to change how much this dynamic controls your peace. Ultimately, the goal is to feel better and more aligned. So here's the belief that maybe you can try on and see if it works for you. And that is, I deserve to belong in spaces where I'm celebrated for who I am and not tolerated for what I do. Because once you start believing that belief, you'll stop wasting precious emotional energy trying to win people over who are committed to misunderstanding you. And honestly, you'll start to see them for who they and what they really are. A bunch of people playing the same high school popularity games in adult clothing. And does that mean it won't sting sometimes? No, it's going to sting. You're human. You want connection. We all do. But the more you root into this belief, the more you'll realize you're not missing out on anything meaningful here. You're simply being spared from a dynamic that doesn't deserve your time. So instead, I invite you to start shifting your energy toward people outside of that group who make you feel relaxed and welcome and seen, even if it's just one person, even if it's outside of work. That's where your real belonging lives, not in trying to force yourself into rooms that aren't meant for you. You're already enough, exactly as you are. The right people will feel that, and you won't have to shrink yourself to keep their company. Okay? I hope this helps everyone. That's all I have for today. Thanks for listening. And if today stirred something in you, an old belief, a new truth, or just a spark of possibility, good. That's the whole point. Awareness isn't always comfortable, but it's always powerful. If you want to send a question in, a real life conflict question or a story for a future episode, leave me a voicemail. The link is in my show notes. And let me know your name or make one up. I don't mind. The more personal, the better though. And if you're loving this show and want to help me wake up more people, you know what to do. Share it with a friend, leave a review, or shout it out on socials. Until next time, don't react, respond with intention.